Hi, I'm Dahlia Remler.
And I'm Greg Van Ryzen.
We're the authors of Research Methods and Practice, published by SAGE. I'm a professor at Baruch College School of Public Affairs, part of the City University of New York. I was trained as an economist, that's what my PhD is in. My research interests are in healthcare policy, which I've worked on for most of my career. Also work on higher education policy, media, teaching and learning, and a lot of areas in public policy.
And I'm a professor at the School of Public Affairs and Administration at Rutgers University. My training, my PhD is in psychology, and I do a wide range of work, but I work on survey research, public opinion, program evaluation. I've done some work on housing and urban affairs.
So why did we write the book? First, we really wanted an applied book that would be useful for our Masters of Public Administration students. I also used to teach Masters in Public Health students. So we want it to be used for any applied area: criminal justice, education, public health, business management.
And we also wrote the book because we wanted an interdisciplinary approach to research methods. We have different disciplinary backgrounds ourselves, but we share a lot of interests in methodology and approaches. We learn a lot across different disciplines, and we teach students who come from very different disciplines and have different professional interests. So we really wanted the strengths of a real interdisciplinary approach.
So what are some of the main features of the book? First, we try and teach everything through examples. Real-world, policy-relevant, in-depth examples, not sort of throwaway three-line trivial examples, but in-depth ones. And we also try and with those examples, make the research come to life. So we show all the uncertainties and trade-offs that come with real-world research.
Another main feature of the book is we really try hard to write it for a wide range of audiences, both researchers, students and students who are learning to do research, but also practitioners who need to kind of understand and apply research. And again, we wrote it for different fields with a very interdisciplinary approach.
We also put a lot of effort into making the writing really clear as possible, and intuitive, taking an intuitive approach to everything. In addition, we worked hard to make the book flexible so that it can be used for students at various levels. And by that we mean both students who start at various levels of quantitative background, training, etc., but also that people are able to reach various levels at different topics. So we really tried to make it flexible.
And another key feature is that we believe that we've made the book very current and up to date. Dahlia and I are both active researchers. We go to lots of conferences. We read widely in the methodology literature, and we wanted the book to reflect the latest thinking about topics like causation, both philosophical issues as well as empirical issues about doing good causal research, the latest sort of designs for natural and quasi-experiments, new developments in survey research, and just as many sort of new ideas as we could include in the book. We think that's important.
Yeah, and in fact, about the causal research, we actually organized the book around the distinction between descriptive and causal research. So we cover both in serious fullness, but we want our readers to understand the distinction between the two kinds of research and what it takes to provide good causal estimates.
Okay, now we'd like to mention a few things that are new in the second edition. One of the key changes we made in the second edition was to provide much more in the way of guidance for students who are doing their own research. We include a more in-depth discussion about formulating research question. We give more specific advice on calculating sample size. We have a section at the end of each chapter that gives a range of specific tips related to that chapter for those who are doing their own study. And the overall approach addresses the needs of students who are planning to do their own dissertation or class project, and hope that helps students carry out their own studies.
We also added a lot more coverage of ethics issues, particularly at the beginning and also at the end, and including a lot of practical aspects of doing ethical research, such as writing good consent forms. But we've still kept ethics integrated into the topics throughout the book. So when we discuss administrative research, for example, we discuss the ethics of using administrative data.
Another change in the second edition is we tried to better organize the statistical topics that are covered in the book and to separate the more statistical coverage of certain issues from the more intuitive approach. So for example, in the sampling chapter, we have less statistical calculations there and a new chapter on statistical inference that covers the more statistical aspects of sampling. And that allows a topic like sampling to be taught fully, but with a more intuitive approach. And we did the same with the regression material, which is now more clearly separated into an intuitive approach to control variables and regression and a more statistical approach. So it can be used with a wide range of audiences with different degrees of technical preparation.
We also added a lot more self-study tools. So we have learning objectives at the beginning of every chapter. We have margin questions throughout so students can test their understanding as they go. We have keywords, and we've added more exercises. So thanks very much. That's our book. We're really excited about it, and we think everyone else will be too.
Thanks for listening.